I'm so much against this Super League. I will do anything on my power to convince even one of the team to draft. That will be the dream of my life. I think it's a disgrace for the teams, including AC Milan. If I was Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, or I was Ibrahimovic, I would say, listen, guys, I'm in total disagreement with that. I'm stepping out after the Campionato is over. You guys handle the Super League. That's what I would have done.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. We had a Serie A weekend this past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I think all of that went out the window a little bit after the announcement from last night.
Yeah.
How so?
Because your 9-0 win in your league. That's why.
Oh, by the way, how did you guys do, since you asked me?
We lost.
You lost? I don't believe that. And if you do, actually, congratulations. I think you deserve it.
We're talking about their over 50 league that they play every Sunday night. You won 9-0, but you lost. Your team lost.
It sounds like a Super League to me.
Is it a Super League? Is it a Super League? Wait, who's in the Super League? Which one of you? One of you guys is in the lower league, and one of you guys is in the Super League.
Who's
you won 9-0, so I have a feeling you're in the lower
Who's
one.
exposing who?
Next question.
Well, now they came into the league, you know, and they changed the name, they changed everything. So
one name. Now we are Campobasso USA.
Right, Campobasso.
IFTV,
Right.
Campobasso
and
USA.
you brought all the superstars.
No, we did not. We did not.
Did the revenues go up? The TV
I don't
deal?
know. We will see. We will see with Campobasso USA IFTV.
You won 9-0.
That's a
Well,
lot.
I guess you don't know the team. The team was a little garbage team. So
Was it 11v11 though?
yeah,
It was? I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
How many goals did you score?
none.
Are you
It's pretty
surprised?
There's 9 goals. You don't even
I'm
go
not there
up.
to score. I'm there to make the team running smoothly. Okay.
I think if they won 9-0, I don't think they needed you to help them run smoothly. I think they got a grasp on themselves. No. No.
All right, let's go. Let's talk about the Super League because I have a lot of stuff bubbling into my system.
You gotta use the bathroom?
No, no.
Yeah, let's talk about what happened yesterday. We had a very nice live stream. I'll say yesterday for the Napoli against Inter. We had Phil, our buddy, come all the way from Philadelphia. It was a great live stream. We really enjoyed it. We had a fun time. We were joking around. We were hearing a little bit in the morning that a Super League might come up. I even recorded a video with Matt Rizzetta, owner of Campobasso, to get an owner's perspective on what he thought about these rumors. In the video, we were just going off speculation. We even said it might not be announced. You know, maybe the newspapers have it wrong. We left after the match. We went out to dinner. We went to get pizza. And as we were getting pizza, we saw the official announcement from the Super League, which I think at midnight in Europe, they announced that a Super League was going to be formed with 12 teams to join this competition. The 12 teams, the 12 founding teams, as we'll call them: AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Barcelona, Inter, Juventus, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Real Madrid, and Tottenham are all the founding clubs.
Not Barcelona?
I said Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah, I said Barcelona. These guys basically forming a competition which would be played midweek, according to them, according to their website, which, as we all know, is their push to basically break away from the Champions League, create their own Champions League. The way that will work, there's a lot of technical information that I'm going to have to read off afterwards, or as we get our opinion in. As it would work, the idea is to have 20 teams, 15, which would be the founding clubs, that can never get relegated. They will always remain inside the league, with 5 teams that could come in and out. So still having that promotion relegation. 5 teams, they wrote performance-based. We have no clue what performance-based means. They have not explained how these will be decided. The only teams that have rejected so far are the German and the French clubs. So PSG is not involved. Bayern Munich, Leipzig, and Dortmund all gave official statements that they are not interested in being part of the Super League. Obviously, it led to absolute chaos where UEFA wants to file any and all legal action that they can against these clubs, who they say are threatening football as we know it, going as far to say that any player that plays in this competition could be excluded from the Euro competition this summer and the World Cup to come. Any player that competes in this competition. Furthermore, they also, UEFA adds that they will be excluded from their domestic competition Super League's official statement is that they want to remain in their leagues. They want Juventus, Milan, and Inter to remain in the Serie A. UEFA says they want them out of all leagues if they decide to do this. That's most of the technical information. Initial thoughts, boys.
All right, go ahead.
You got a lot in your stomach.
First of all, it's very unfortunate that AC Milan is one of those teams because I'm not in agreement with this kind of a super league. The simple fact is, you just make a statement that is based on revenues, amount of money that you have already on the pocket, history. Okay, which this should have been the only factor, and whether you have all of these political clouds, because we're talking about politics over here, that it really can make you either be part of the group or not be part of the group. So, to me, a lot of those teams that they are inside of there, they function to me as a multinationals, because I've seen it's nothing to do with soccer. It has to do only with the economic part of the game. So, when you're starting to mix the money with the game of soccer, then what you do, you destroy the game. I'm so much against this Super League. I will do anything on my power to just make sure that if I can convince even one of the team to drop, that will be the dream of my life. I think it's a disgrace for the people for the teams, including AC Milan, because when it comes down to criticize your own team, you have to do it. It's a total disgrace. I don't care all the rules that you said before that they want to be part of Serie A. I think the UEFA is taking a good stand right now. It said it's either you talk in a way that you're very inclusive. What is this thing? 15 teams and then 5 that can be relegated on and off based on performance. This is nothing but bullshit. Okay, the performance is based on the money that you have on your pocket, what you're willing to spend, and what you're willing to compromise. Being like Peter said, with all due respect. Having said that,
that's Peter's catchphrases now.
So with all due respect, and having said that, I think for anybody to forge this league right now, at this time, because the Campionato is not over, the competition, they haven't been played, we are getting close to the semi-final and the final of the Cups, coming with a statement like that, and in most of the other leagues, nobody has already conquered the first to fourth position to be able to get the access to the Champions League or the UEFA League and all the stuff. This is really revolutionizing the whole system, and it's putting everybody on a very bad spot. Now, who the hell needs to fight for a Champions League spot when you already are on the Euro, on this Super League over here? So all of this pretend that we are playing for the competition, it's all over. Because the money that took over the competition and that took over the game. So I don't want to hear anything or any shit from any one of those superstars, because those are the first people that they should be coming on the first line over there and be the people protesting. I said, listen, they should say, if I was Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, or I was Ibrahimovic, I would say, listen, guys, I'm in total disagreement with that. I'm stepping out after the Campionato is over. You guys handle the Super League. That's what I would have done. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those superstars, so I cannot really make any one of those statements.
You are a superstar.
But this is what I will do. It's a total disgrace, and I'm very much against it. And just let's hope that a lot of people that take a position to stop this whole movement for going forward.
You do share the sentiment of many fans, as we've seen people protesting all over Europe, Liverpool, Manchester United, all the fans, putting banners outside of the stadium. The one thing I would say, and I don't want to get into details. Yeah, I want everybody to express their opinion, but the one. I'll save it. It doesn't matter about the players. Peter, what are your thoughts? You're another one of the founding clubs that would be in this competition.
Antonio, I hate to admit it, but I agree with everything that you have said so far.
So far.
No, I mean, this goes against over 100 years of tradition. It goes against everything that football, soccer, whatever you call it, calcio, stands for. Where, there's a lot of stories of the David versus Goliath. Already there's a big difference between top clubs and smaller clubs when we look at finances. Now you create a league of your own where you're going to monopolize football, and there'll be no way in hell that a team can ever compete with one of these 15 Super Leagues or 20 Super League teams if they're going to be making $350 to $400 million per year. You know, UEFA. And I think there's also been, I guess, slight, not necessarily miscommunication, but both sides are taking their stance and they're not looking to really come to an agreement just yet. I think it comes down to playing a little hardball right now. Even the way that this announcement was made, when you consider that this is going to be a European competition, you make it at midnight, you know, past midnight. That's sketchy, always like a shady time to post something or start talking about something. UEFA also has released a statement and about the new Champions League in 2023-2024, that they're going to have a new structure for that as well. Did they know this? Probably. And that was the reason why they rushed to making the announcement. So it's created a lot of controversy. It's created a lot of problems. I think, you know, we have to really be able to see everything in the full picture, because we have very little information. You know, that's great. They have the talking points. I know Florentine Perez had you know, some statements being made. Agnelli, all these teams, they've announced certain stuff, but there's not a real full picture, and it doesn't. You know, it's great for these founding clubs. They're going to be making a lot of money, but what does that mean for football and the other teams? Because now there's no reason for a Serie A. There's not going to be a national league that of interest for a lot of people, and you're going to lose out on all the TV money. There's a lot of people that work within football. There's a lot of people that survive and live off of this, and it's gonna create an American business model where there's the franchises and that's it, and there's nothing else. There's no second division, you know, basketball league that of relevance. You know, there's no second division baseball league of relevance. These are all, you know, the minor leagues. Let's say in baseball, talking American sports, it's all to produce for the MLB team. You know,
to fight to get on.
The players, but not the teams. The teams can never go up. And so what happens? All these minor leagues, they're owned by the MLB franchise. So what's going to happen? Inter are going to own different farm systems. It's going to be like a complete mess. And I think you lose the value and the tradition of football. And it's upsetting. I think there could be slight changes. And I do like what, you know, Bayern Munich, I can't pronounce his name. Rummenigge.
Yeah.
He played with Inter. I know he played for Inter. But he came out and said, we're not going to join because this is not going to make anything better, right? I don't know the exact words, but pretty much this is not going to solve the problems that we have. And then especially you do this during a COVID where there's no fans in the stadiums. That's also something that I don't like, because now the fans don't have the chance, the real opportunity to voice their opinions. They have to do it from outside. But we were talking a little bit. The fans have the power to change this. Yeah. The only problem is I don't know how strong they can be. Because you can be upset now. You have to be able to boycott it, but not just for right now, but for a long term. I think if you had to create, I would be.
You won't watch Milan play. You won't watch Inter play.
No.
For the tradition and the standard of football, I would boycott, because that's how. If you're gonna create, you have to create like a union where you're gonna say, listen, we do not want this, and this is so against our values as a footballing nation, as a footballing fan. I'm out. Or we're going to stop until you change.
So if it happens, both of you guys are not going to watch your team.
I'm not going to watch my team. Listen, let me just add, before Gaetano goes on, let me add one more thing, okay? This is very important. If you actually analyze the team that they joined this Super League, who's behind those guys? Who's behind this leagues? Who's the ownership, number one?
Americans.
It's like, okay, don't forget, it's not. It's American, Arabs, whatever.
Yeah.
It's oil, petroleum, China, whatever the case might be. It's big money. Try to make more big money and to shut down the people that they are trying with all their. This is like a sword with a double-edged sword. Okay, so On the other hand, we just starting to have a great relationship with Marizzetta, that he wants to start from the bottom, taking the team, and then fight to bring the team to the top. Other people that they have a lot more money, like the Elliott Group, in our particular case, it's the AC Milan Group. They have the money. They took AC Milan. They spending a little money, and then all they wanted to do, they join into this mess without thinking about what is the tifosi going to think about it.
They don't care.
They don't give
problem.
a so.
They don't care.
They don't care, but we care. So if it comes down to Elliott making the decision for everybody, somebody that doesn't care about soccer making the decision for all the people that they grew up playing the game and that they dreamed about the game, they're dreaming about what's going on from starting to the end. Because if you're not involved, you're not invested into this game from the very young age, you're going to be sucked into this kind of a stupid franchising, and you're not going to enjoy the game anymore. Just the game. Already the game has been played right now. It's a disgrace, okay? Because they think more about the results, the end results, vis-a-vis Inter, okay, the way they play it, than the actual game itself of the soccer.
Okay.
This is the end of it. It's the end of it.
What do you think about the whole situation?
Oh wow, there's a lot to talk about, and growing up as a little kid, you dream of a Serie A. You're dreaming of watching the games of Serie A. I mean, you like to see a Sassuolo-Fiorentina game. You like to see a Genoa against the Sampdoria game, which are those derbies. And, the kids, they love to have that and to have a good competition. But in Serie A, if we look at the Serie A and we're trying to see, okay, the division between the teams, there has always been the teams from Inter and Milan and Juventus. They won most of the championships. What chance does he have Sassuolo to win a championship? What chance does he have a Fiorentina? Cagliari, I think the last time they won a championship was 1970. I'm not sure. Yes. But it happens once every 50 years. So if we want to create balance, we're talking about things they're not going to be even, and we're talking about Rummenigge. He's won 30 championships in Germany. He's won UEFA Cups. Why doesn't he talk about Germany? That is not, he's talking now that this is not fair, but why doesn't he look at his own house? Barcelona, Real Madrid, they always win. Manchester United, Manchester City, they always win. You think Manchester City is fair? They're not fair. PSG is fair. They all try not to be fair. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is we want to create, there is a Champions League every Wednesday, and we like the Champions League every Wednesday. These people that are in charge, Florentino Flores, Agnelli, whoever,
Florentino Perez.
Florentino
Flores, I think those are players.
Okay, right. Whatever it is, get together with UEFA. Okay, you want to make, instead of have the format right now, the Champions League, where it's a different, you want to make it into a group, make it into a group. I have no problem with that if there is a group instead of being, we want to see those games. Those games on Wednesday, I look forward to see those games on Wednesdays. Okay, you want to keep doing, but you need to do it together with Serie A. You need to do together with Premier League. And you need to do it together with the leagues and with UEFA. You got to work together, okay? Make it in a way, there's got to be a way that you can make it work, where you can have a nice Serie A. Those teams, there's no way that they're not going to play in Serie A. You need Inter, you need Juventus, you need AC Milan to play in Serie A. And it should be a little bit fair. Maybe when you go play in the Champions League and you have that league that you play on Wednesdays, I don't know how it can be worked out. Maybe the players that play in the Champions League, there's a minimum players that can play in the Serie A. I don't know, or minimum players that can play in the Champions League, so that there is a little bit more balance when you play in Serie A. But I think there's a way to work this out and try to make it work. But we want to see Serie A. We want to see the Champions League. Okay? Get the best minds, put them together, and make it work. Instead of all this fighting and all this hatred between, the UEFA. I think it's a very big mistake that the way they came out at the time that they came out. You know, this is very bad for soccer.
bad timing.
What Agnelli and what the president of the president of UEFA,
Schäferin.
you know, what did he say today? I mean, that's a disgrace for soccer. We have a passion for soccer. You should have come out and you should have had a plan, and you should have had a better plan. And the plan would have been a balanced Serie A, and then you want to play on Wednesday, which they already do it. It's Champions League. Play on Wednesday, but make it work.
Michael.
Yeah, wow. Well said, Gaetano. I think all you guys too. I'm definitely on the same page with everything. Big part for me is I think that underdog story, where I like how Peter was hinting at before. You know, the Atalanta doing what they've done the past few years. I'm not from Atalanta. I'm not from Bergamo. I'm not Italian or anything. But you get a sense of pride. Be like, wow, with hard work, with a commitment, with persistence, with trying hard, you can actually cement yourself as a top team, even though you don't have history. If you have an ambitious group, you could do something amazing, similar to what Marizetta wants to do with Campobasso. But now with something like this is literally gonna eliminate everything. It's gonna make the rich richer, the poor poorer. The gap's gonna be even bigger, and it's sad because at the end of the day, it seems like everything really, like before they said, you know, it was about money, football's about money, but now it really is about money. It's about greed, and it turned this sport into, I don't know, it turned inside out. Like when I was younger,
stock market.
That's what it seems like. It feels like maybe just dollar signs in their heads right now. And I think the biggest thing too, the thing that I liked about these big matches is the anticipation for watching a Champions League game. Oh, Juventus playing Real Madrid in 3 weeks. I can't wait. Now, if you have that every week of top team, I feel like that magic, that anticipation, it's not going to feel the same. The magic's going to fade away, and cultural football isn't going to have the same feeling that it is. I think that's part of it. I don't think you can have a top game every week. It just, the anticipation, I think, it builds up the suspense for that great game. Having it every time, it's redundant, and it's going to keep happening. And I feel like this, I hope I'm wrong, but I think this could be the downfall of
How come
football.
didn't they pick up anybody from Greece?
I don't know.
I knew he was going to say that.
Maybe they'll say that
I
in the
saw
next
his
meeting.
face.
Or next meeting?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. And I think first of all, I think that everybody is emotional. Like all football fans around the world, they're emotional, and it's understandable. It's a sport that you love. It's a sport that you grew up with. We're used to a certain style, and we think that all of that's in jeopardy. And I understand people saying, you know, it could be greed, it could be this, it could be that. I know it's not going to be popular, but I do disagree with some things at this table. Like I do disagree. I agree I think with the philosophy, right? So I agree with what Agnelli was saying about football. It needs to change. We need something different. So I agree that something needs to be shaking up, because in my opinion, it's gotten boring. Like there needs to be a bigger ambiance around the game. He's saying to attract younger fans, to attract, you know, more. I agree with that sentiment. I agree with that. Now, do I think that the details and the way they went about it for sure should have been better? Because I think that we still don't know a lot. Number one, I'm not sure how much I believe that everything that's being reported is going to happen. And I think that of course, we jump to conclusions because we're scared, but I really don't believe, I don't believe we're going to see Milan, Juve, and Inter out of Serie A. I don't believe it. I think that they're going to come to an agreement and they're going to sort what it is. They say they want to play in the domestic competitions. You know, there might be regulations. So, I like the philosophy of the best teams playing against each other every week. I absolutely love it, and I think that's what football needs. Now, the details around it, I don't totally agree with, but it's exciting to think about, to put into perspective, right? Because I think we need a revolution, but maybe not to what the newspapers are saying is going to happen. The one thing that I'll say that bothers me the most is this talk about greed. I mean, UEFA coming out saying that they're corrupt, they're greedy. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is ridiculous, because it's like one greedy person saying to another person this and that. Like that is a no nonsense, talk.
Yeah.
Because it's literally how the world has been going around. They've done the same thing. And for FIFA to come out and say, "Oh, we are for all fans. We are for equality. We're for this and that." I mean, look what the history of what they've done. Qatar, how many people have we lost in Qatar building the stadiums in Qatar? How did Qatar get the World Cup? Like, so that's a problem with me.
Money.
Exactly.
Corruption.
Exactly. So them saying greed, corruption, come on. That's ridiculous to me. Like, I don't fault them at all. And I do understand the perspective of even Florentino Perez, who put a little bit better. But I will say, I agree 100% about you guys. Like, if I'm Atalanta, I'm pissed off. And I understand why they would be mad. I think that we need more clarity. I think we need to understand a little bit how this would exactly work. Because then there's the discrepancy. Peter mentioned financially, teams might be making $300-400 million a year, every year from this. So if there's no FFP, which is regulated by UEFA, that means in a world that we're talking about, Inter, Milan, and Juve are coming into the league with an extra $400 million to spend with no regulations, and it's really going to create a topple effect that will never be able to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the league would mean nothing in a sense. So I think that is one of the problems that they would need to solve. But I also like the idea of pushing back at UEFA because, a lot of these big clubs are saying, why are we not making more money with UEFA? Why is UEFA in total control of this? And to me, a lot of the reason why this has happened is to UEFA's fault. I know everybody's painting UEFA to be the victim in this scenario, and I guess that's where I'm pushing back, where maybe let's not take, it's not really taking UEFA's side. We need to find where we can make football the best. So including UEFA, for me, I think that they probably tried to have UEFA in these conversations, and UEFA didn't want to listen to them. So it's more so them being like, we're the ones that are in control. We're 12 clubs. We are bringing all of the rights. We're going to get $4 billion in TV rights. Now you have to listen to us. So I think that they will come to an agreement in the end, but that's just my perspective.
I doubt it. Let me just say to you why. Look at this. Right now, this is 7-8 games before the end of the Campionato, right? We're already starting to look at it. Oh, Donnarumma hasn't signed yet. And this other guy, he hasn't signed yet. Who's behind Donnarumma? This guy is Raiola. What's Raiola all about? You think he really cares about soccer? It's about making money. So what is going to happen? It's going to just exacerbate all of this problem that already exists right now. And they're going to make it much worse because all of the players that they are playing, they're part of this 6 or 7, 3 franchise, Inter, Juventus, and Milan. They might want to gravitate over there, and they might want to demand more money. We're part of the Super League. I want more money. Donnarumma is going to start to demand money.
That's what's going to happen.
Let me just say that.
For sure.
Then all the players from Atalanta, like Mike said and Peter said, they're going to say, hey, listen, I can take my chances. I mean, if AC Milan calls me, I'm fucking going. Fuck that. I am going. So what is going to happen? If Gaetano was Lotito, he will make a phone call and say, hey, Antonio, what the fucking is wrong with you? I said, you're taking my players away just because you can pay them and I cannot afford what you can offer them. You're destroying my team.
That's what
that's what is going to happen.
No, that's for sure.
That's going to happen. But also, I think the whole idea of the Super League was a way to cut out the middleman. It was a way to cut out UEFA from the profits.
Exactly.
And these clubs, they feel that, they should get more than what is given. They expanded the Champions League. They've kind of diluted the competition. When the Champions League existed, it was the first place team, and that's it. And everybody else was in UEFA. Am I right?
No, first two, I think.
First two,
yeah,
or whatever it was. But that changed. But if you think about it, it also helped increase soccer and money in soccer around Europe, where you have teams, whether it be in Greece or in Czech Republic, where maybe they don't have as much money, but now Slavia Praha is a decent team, with some money, and that's all due because of the money that they were able to get due to Champions League and have more exposure and so on and so forth. So you do that. So by creating this league, you're creating just this exclusive club, right? You're creating just this is us, and you guys are not going to exist anymore because in the end, for these smaller teams also, the only opportunity is to sell the players, right? Even though we see that happening already, at least the difference isn't as big. When you're talking $400 million a year of profits,
I got a question for Gaetano.
On top of
what they're going to be making,
a couple
supposedly,
$1 billion,
yeah. On top of that,
saying.
I mean, it's just insane
and never going out.
And I don't know with Mino. Listen, Mino, yeah, he wants to make money. But he's also doing it for his players. Listen, if Donnarumma wanted to, he could get rid of Mino Raiola like this. Donnarumma, he wants to make the most money that he can make, like any other player. So that agent is doing his job because he doesn't represent the team. He represents the player and make sure the player gets what he wants. That being said, if teams
with all the respect,
with all the respect, if teams start making $300-400 million per year, then guess what?
Everyone's
All
gonna
those
make
salaries
the
are going jumping up. But that's why I'm saying it's going to create
worse.
It's going to create
It's gonna pop this
a
bubble.
whole new.
Yeah.
No, but it's not even going to pop because like Marco said, I think eventually if this does come into existence, people are going to start watching because if you love football, you're going to be forced to watch it. But you're going to create something that you can't fight off and you can't change, and it's going to be American model, and that's it. Soccer as we know it does not exist.
It's over.
For sure, they're looking at the NBA. They're looking at MLS. And
all the American sports.
They're looking at the American franchise model, and like I think Peter, you put it well. I think that the sentiment could be if it's a way to cut the middleman of UEFA out, where we don't know all the ins and outs of exactly what's going on. That could be an idea, but I think it needs to be worked on. For me, I just don't believe. I guess the reason why I'm pushing back on it. I just don't believe that what they're saying is going to happen, like what we're all saying, is going to happen.
But you know what?
That's why.
But you know what? The Super League, the people that are in this league, needed to do a better job of coming up with a
100%.
report and
I agree.
expressing everything that
I
needs
agree.
to be expressed.
I got a question for
because
Gaetano.
the way that they did it
Gaetano.
and the way that has come out is totally
confusing.
wrong. It's confusing, and we do not know any information.
Gaetano, let me ask you something.
Peter, 100%.
Let me ask you something. How coincidental is for you the fact that we've been wearing a mask right now, and this stuff here has been happening just during pandemic? The first time in the history of the game that we have a pandemic, and this is I don't know.
It's
if
totally related.
Wait a moment.
I
Let me
could read
finish.
it from Florentino Perez.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. That's not unrelated. I'm telling you why. The revenue of the team, starting from you guys, the Juventus, they're all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody is suffering. Nobody's buying the tickets to go to the stadium. Nobody can go to the stadium. Everybody's going to have to wear a mask. Everybody's going to be taking the temperature. Everybody's going to have the certification, where you're going, where you're not going, and all the BS. How coincidental you think this whole thing is with the COVID, Gaetano? You think there is a lot of it?
But
a lot to do
they've
with
been
it?
talking about the Super League for a few years now.
Can I just read one quote?
Yeah, go ahead.
Florentino Perez said that this was an idea. He said, but because of COVID and the revenues going down, it made us go forward with it now.
Accelerated.
Florentino just said it.
So it is coincidental. It's not coincidental. They did it because of that.
Yes, because the revenues went down from
See?
COVID.
It's about the money.
I was
Of
trying to tell you
course.
that you're right. You're,
What do you
you're
thought it
totally
was,
right.
Of course, it's about the money.
You're totally right. Let me read a couple quotes that came out from some former players. Vieri said that. Cassano said that small teams can't be left aside. I would ask the Italian Federation to kick Inter, Milan, and Juventus out of Serie A. Let them play in their own league, and let's see what happens with them. They must take a stance. 12 teams cannot rule football.
I agree.
There's another quote from Giuseppe Rossi, our boy Giuseppe Rossi, who said, "Who else thinks this Super League bullshit is a joke? I hope everyone in soccer/football, every soccer/football fan in the world realizes how damaging this is to our game. Hashtag no Super League." There is also a quote from Cairo, who says, "If Marotta, the CEO of Inter, has done something like this, he must resign from the FIGC immediately, and he should be ashamed. The same will go for Agnelli. They sabotaged our deal," which is the private equity media company deal, knowing that they were doing this Super League. It is betrayal. It's like Judas. And then, Mike, there's another quote from the UEFA president. You have it, right?
Yeah, from the UEFA president, Ceferin. He said, "We'll suspend the 12 teams as soon as possible. I've never seen someone lie to me as much as Agnelli did. I spoke to him on Saturday, and he said it was all rumors, then turned his phone off. He's one of, if not the biggest disappointment. He didn't know we didn't know we had snakes in our own home." And New York Times also reports that Ceferin is the godfather to Agnelli's firstborn
Nobody
daughter.
gives a damn. Anyway, now listen to me. Your campionato that you're going to be winning.
You're happy,
before
aren't
it
you?
was toilet paper. Now it's stained toilet paper. It's used toilet paper.
So would you be happy if they canceled it? If they canceled the league? No.
No, absolutely not. Let them have a dream once in a while, those losers.
What's
It's
everybody's-
wrong. What they're
what's
doing is wrong.
Do you guys agree or disagree with what Cassano's saying? That
I
they should
absolutely
kick-
agree.
they
Giuseppe
should-
Rossi, 100% spot on.
Yeah, I agree with
But
all of them.
specifically that they should kick Inter, Milan, and Juventus
Absolutely,
out for
kick them out.
for even talking.
Yes.
This is the problem. You kick those teams out, Serie A doesn't have a TV deal. No one's going to be watching Serie A.
Who told you
So,
that?
it's a matter of fact, Antonio.
No,
You're not gonna get that TV deal. You're not gonna get
$1 billion.
the money that you need
They
in
sold
order
for
to
$1 billion
survive,
domestically.
especially during what's going on right now with this COVID pandemic. That's one. And then two, my other argument is that these Inter, Milan, Juventus, they can claim that they want to be part of this Serie A, but there's no point for them anymore because they're going to be playing in the Super League. They're going to have all their interest in the Super League. The Serie A becomes how a lot of these teams treat the Coppa Italia.
Or put the guys on the
Or
locker
just creates-
room.
using
there's
there's no point.
Room.
There's no point.
No, that's wrong. It's very wrong.
I would be very interested to know, like again, I agree with a lot of stuff. I disagree with certain things. Like I said, on the UEFA part, I really disagree with. The thing is, like, there has to be. I think we have to have a balance in all of this. I think there needs to be greater balance. Like, while I do think that competition needs to increase, I think that we also have to have those dreamer teams that could have an ability to get in. And that's the part I disagreed with, where, we were thinking that nobody could get in. Like, we weren't sure. So there's 8 remaining teams, which, Bayern, PSG, they've all said that they're not going to be, involved in the league. Like, how do they incentivize teams to be able to make it into this elitist group of these 12 teams? Because I agree with Peter where I don't see how they're going to play domestic competition.
Why Ajax is
look,
not in? Why the Belgium is not in? Why the
that's
Dutch?
the Champions League.
No, we're talking about the Super League.
No, I'm saying because that becomes a Champions League is what they would say.
Yeah, but besides that, look at you can even say Inter the past 10 years. Do they deserve to be one of the top teams? Look at Milan. They haven't been in Champions League in 10 years. Do they deserve to be in the Tottenham? They're in 11th place.
That's true.
Do they deserve Arsenal 9th place?
That's very true.
All these top teams haven't been good for a while.
The fan base.
You're absolutely right about
just
that.
because of the fan base, now all of a sudden they're going to be able to buy more players and do what they want to do. But there has been no merit, and that is the hard part to really swallow and say, hey, create another thing. But I think Agnelli, more importantly, he said, because he mentioned, remember when he said about Atalanta getting into Champions League? For him, he saw it as Juventus should be in Champions League no matter what. If they were first place or 15th place, they should always be in the Champions League. Yeah. And that's wrong.
Because he's the owner.
Yes, and that's wrong. Because it should be based on merit. Now, as far as a format, that could be changed. Even within the Champions League, could change that format where you create a group stage instead of the way that they have it now, where you could have the 10 teams and they all play. I would watch it. I would agree. But it should be based on merit. It should be based on how you perform that season, and that's the reason why you get into this thing. Or even better yet, you want to have this 15 clubs or these founding clubs, whatever you want to call it, do like a World Cup. Or like a Euro Cup where you have 1 month out of every 3 years or out of every 2 years, and you create the Super League where they play for 1 month in the summer that doesn't coincide with World Cup or the other international leagues, tournaments, and you have this league. You'll make a lot of money and you can still maintain everything else.
It's a very I agree with your point too in that perspective of like there are certain teams who have not done well but yet they're in there because of financial reasons, and I think that the details of this, like those are the parts where like, as I've said, that we do need reform in football. I don't think to that extent, as Peter has brought up. I think that that's a very good perspective, and I think, like, once again I say the philosophy, right? The philosophy of let's attract more fans, let's make more competition, let's put the big teams against each other, some more. Totally agree with. But we do need to give the opportunity for the Leicester Cities, the Atalantas, the teams that really fight and can, like he said, off merit base get into there, and that's why we need to understand a little bit more. For me, in that perspective.
How does the soccer game, the purity of the game is going to change by doing this? Just give me a good reason, please. I hope you have one. Tell me how, by just selecting those elite groups based on their financial power, they're going to change the game of soccer. If Conte is the coach of Inter and you bring this fucking loser into the Super League, what makes you think that this guy's not going to do the catenaccio on the Super League too? He's going to fucking destroy the Super League too.
Where's this coming from?
Okay? That's what is going to happen.
It's Conte's fault.
That's what is going to happen.
It's Conte's fault.
That's what is going to happen.
So basically, it's Conte's fault.
No, it's not. What I'm trying to tell you, where is soccer improving on the game itself? Where is the quality? You think the Super League has got quality? I got news for you. I have a lot of better time watching Atalanta playing than watching those losers playing. Or you guys too. Okay? So don't give me that BS.
But that's what
Okay,
I'm
where is the improvement of the game?
Gotcha.
Where is the Gasperini equation over there?
Gotcha.
Where is Sacchi? Where are the people that they created the game? What the people, the innovator of the game? There is nothing to do about the quality of the game. It has to do about the freaking money.
For sure. No, Anto, you're totally right. You're totally right, and that's why we're bringing up this discussion. It's more so, I don't think we can look at it, black and white, right, or yes or no. It has to be this or it has to be that way. It's more so of us saying, okay, the idea of trying to think about how we can make football, soccer younger can be interesting to us, right? How do we do that? How do we increase that sort of competition? How do we fix it, right? And I'm not saying that everything that they've said is correct or everything that they said I agree with. And the one thing that, again, I keep going back to, I don't believe that this will all happen. Like, I just simply don't. They're talking about August 2021. I really personally think it's a way for them to say, we have the power, and then maybe they renegotiate and they determine how things will go. Because, again, if FIFA comes out and says, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, you are not playing in the next World Cup next year, what do you think is going to happen? It would be a all-out war. Because what does a player do? A player gets paid by his club, right? So he can't just leave. And even if Ronaldo would say, "Oh, I would want to leave," or Messi says, "Oh, I want to leave," where are you going to go? Those teams are not going to have the same kind of revenue that the teams in the Super League would have. So you're kind of forced into a situation where they'll probably be able to pay you more money too. So that's why, for me, like, I feel like it will never get to that point. It will never get to the point where they create the Super League, they're not going to play in their domestic competition, and they're going to be out of a World Cup. I don't see that.
I agree with you on that part. I just feel like if the players go behind everyone's back, just how the Super League done with UEFA and stuff, and get all the good players and be like, we're not going to participate in this, that might be the only way. But I feel like it's so enticing for them in terms of how much more money they're going to get. It's going to be extremely hard for them to do it. Yeah, but I think they need a movement.
But you're looking at only a select few. If there's only 20 teams, there's going to be only those players that are going to be part of that elite. Players that already make enough money as it is. But besides that, I saw Bruno Fernandes posted something on his Instagram where he said that, this game should not be bought. But going back to I was going to say to the FIFA with the World Cup, they're left in a sticky situation as well, because not only can they, let's say, oh, we're going to ban all these players from Super League. Where do you think they're going to, how do you think they make money? They make money on viewership, and sponsorships. Yeah. If there's no Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and all these top players,
it's all going down.
Coca-Cola is not going to sponsor the next World Cup. So now,
100%.
What's going on? What's the situation? That's why these guys, unfortunately, they're in a situation where they have the money and they do have the power. Now, as far as taking a stance against them, and like I said, it's all based on the viewership. So the fans have to be able to be hard on something like this, where if there is any way to not go to the game, to not watch TV, to not, to boycott it, that's where you'll see maybe a change. But as far as coming to they have to, either UEFA has to be very smart in coming to an agreement and creating some type of tournament that works or league that works, or I think it's going to happen.
There's one thing that I don't necessarily agree with you there, though, is like, and I've seen this narrative go all the way around, right? It's like, they're not caring about the fans. This is not for the fans, or the fans, we have this power. But there's been so many scenarios where all of these guys who now are claiming that we're for the fans tried taking advantage of the fans before. I even saw a tweet the last time where I don't remember if it was I think it was BT Sport in England, and correct me if I'm wrong with with the details on this, but they tried a model where they would put Burnley against Wolverhampton, for example, for £15 to watch one game. So these guys that are coming out saying, oh, they're the ones that are trying to take advantage of the fans, yeah, you try to do the same thing. And all of these guys have tried to take advantage of the fans at the end of the day.
They're playing innocent.
Everybody's trying to play innocent, like, oh, we're for the fans, where nobody's actually proven that. And while I do agree with you that, yes, fans, they're the most important thing. They're what makes it go around. But at the end of the day, I think that you are not going to get people to boycott like you think that they could. And for me, again, I still see that FIFA is going to be in that scenario where they're going to say, we might have to side with the Super League. And guess what? Serie A, Premier League, all them, they're going to side with the Super League and figure it out. And maybe it's UEFA that in the end is the real loser in all of this. And Super League basically just replaces Champions League. And it's not as big of a deal.
Ask your father, you have it next to you. What happened?
I didn't notice you there.
What happened with that game, with the soccer game, when we on the 80s, the 70s? Your father and I, we were on the radio listening tutto il calcio minuto per minuto. There was no man involved. There was 4 or 5 telecronisti. Enrico Ameri, Sandro Ciotti, Alfredo Provenzale. I still remember that because this was a religion for us. Instead of going to church, you had the radio.
Radio
right
announcers.
there.
Radio announcers.
Okay, so there was no money involved. There were, of course, the top 4 or 5 teams, and everybody was sold into the game. There were no live shows, nothing. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when the games were over, you watch tutto il calcio minuto. You watch 90° minuto. That was it. That was it. Now, TV rights, money, merchandising, all BS has got nothing to do with soccer. They took over the game. Gaetano, explain to them,
Anto,
please.
there was a tweet from Cassano where he said, I miss the days where the focus was what happened on the pitch. Every year, I feel like we go further away from talking about actual football being played and more about the BS around the game. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
That wasn't Cassano who tweeted it. It was me.
No, you see the wags. No, listen.
We agree.
Gaetano, he texted me the Corriere.
Did you get what I said?
Screw you.
It was me who said it.
Gaetano,
we said the same thing.
Gaetano, he texts me from time to every day, the Gazzetta, the Corriere. And you know what?
We're in the same group chat.
When I open the page,
when
I open the page, I'm more interested on the wags of the.
So you're the problem.
No,
it's your fault.
It's your fault. This is to tell you that we draft so far away from the game that Cassano is talking about it, and we just focusing on the
stupid. It was me who said that.
I know, but you copying Cassano.
This is before Cassano spoke.
I have to watch, Lavezzi's wife or this guy here's wife, and look at this body, look at the shape of this.
That's just you.
I mean, you don't watch that.
No, I watch.
None of us
I watch
look. I think it's just you.
I watch the game.
Hey, he's in front of me. What am I going to do? I click on.
That's why they keep doing it, though. They're getting you. It's your fault.
Antonio's a problem.
See, look, he says that he's not going to watch Milan anymore, but he can't even do that.
I'm not watching it. If this shit happen, I'm not watching. I'm over with podcast too. If I see.
Oh boy, we haven't heard from you in a little while.
Oh wow.
Taking everything.
No, I mean, I really enjoyed PSG against Bayern Munich. That game was fantastic. But I also want to see, Atalanta play. I love to see, Leicester, when Leicester City make the miracle. I would like to see a team from the underdogs. I love the underdogs that come from the second division. They go to the first division and they fight and they, with everything that they got, and they're trying to, to win the game and upset, a big team, like it has happened. It happened this year. It happened with Benevento. Took a lot of points from Juventus. Crotone,
Spezia took.
Spezia. You like to see a team like. And a young coach that's got new ideas on how to put the team on the. So my idea is make it work so that we can enjoy the Bayern Munich against PSG, but I also want to enjoy the Sassuolo against Atalanta.
But how do you?
But
we're in complete agreement. But somebody, or I know how the people are in the comments, they're going to argue that we already have that right now. So why create the Super League?
No, I'm saying you want to create the Super League, make it created, but don't destroy the Serie A.
How do you do one and the other?
If you want to do it, well, I have these guys that are brilliant with their mind. They're
not brilliant. They're not brilliant, those guys. The money only.
Don't include Antonio in the conversation. but put these guys these guys, put them on a table and let them figure it out. Like I said, I'm not that smart, so I'm not going to be able to figure it out. But figure it out. like I
You don't think
said,
they've tried?
you have you want to create this Super League. I have no problem with that, but do not destroy the Serie A.
Okay.
Make it work so that the Serie A, like I said, maybe Inter is in the Super League. It can only use 5 players, and then all the rest is got to be Serie A players. You know, I don't know if I'm clear.
Creating
When
two
you
different
go,
rosters.
yeah, when you go play in the Super League, and you have this team in the Super League, don't have all those Super League players playing the Serie A. Maybe you can only use 50% of the players, so that there's some kind of competition. I don't know.
We do need to find a way to foster more teams like Atalanta to build that mentality of let's fight, because like it's all great what we're saying about underdogs and the fighters, and I 100% agree. The problem comes in when we have a lot of these teams in Serie A that don't have that same philosophy, or that don't try to challenge, or that are just very content with being in that. We're not going to get relegated. We're not going to get to Europa League. So let's just sit over here and let's not really go out and fight against the big teams. And for me, that's what's created the biggest problem.
Right, but
how do we solve that?
That's the format of Serie A. Okay, that's the way the Serie A is made. So you need to change that. That you have to revolutionize. Revolutionize, the Serie A, because those teams like a Benevento that comes up, it's never gonna, it's gonna be difficult. Crotone that comes up from Serie B, the Parma, it's gonna be very, very difficult for them to compete with a team like Inter, Juventus, and Milan.
It's going to be impossible.
It's gonna be almost impossible. A Cagliari, like I said, to win a championship. So how do you balance that? But this is it's going on for 100 years. What I see here is that if the team is last, they'll get the best players, right? In American sports,
As a draft.
Yeah, as a draft. First
the
draft
team
pick.
that is last will get the best players. So a team that in basketball was last, in a couple of years you can win the championship because you get the best players.
But there's no relegation there either.
And also they do it with
Salary cap.
yeah, and they do it in baseball.
They do it
the
all the
same
American
things.
sports. They have all the drafts.
Football, the same team.
Yes.
That you have different. In American football, you have different teams winning the championships because they try to balance and give the teams that are less, they give the best player. Can that be done with in Europe?
It's hard.
Where you have I don't know, all the primaveras. The young players that come up with the primavera to go to the team that there is that does not relegate. I don't know.
There would be, by the way, Super League did announce a little bit more details. They said that there's going to be a salary cap in this Super League. They're going to implement that. They're going to also implement that referees have to have a microphone. Everything's mic'd up, and they have to say the on-field decision to everybody, to the fans, to the coaches, to everything.
The salary,
which is something that so that's
the
why
salary cap makes that makes sense. That could be another way to so that you don't spend crazy amount of money. Which right now, even though you say you want to be fair, but like I said, PSG has not been fair.
No,
Man City has not been fair.
Inter hasn't been fair. Juventus hasn't been fair.
So that's I guess
Milan?
that's
No,
my
no,
sentiment. That's my sentiment where I'm okay with UEFA not really being involved as much, because from my perspective, right, if these 12 teams are so mad, right, that they want to break away, and the first thing that they're talking about is salary cap, or the first thing that they're talking about is miking up the referees, these must have been things that they brought to UEFA, and UEFA said no to. Because we know how UEFA has been. So that's where I understand where, a team will be like, you know what? You keep telling us that we can't do this. We're the ones that are in control. We want the referees to give us clarity. That's my perspective in terms of, I think that they should dictate a little bit more in terms of what's happening.
What's going to happen is the salary cap is always in favor of the owners. Because if the owners are making $400 million a year, then guess what? The players should demand as much money as they can. A salary cap, what does that do? It guarantees the profit margins for the ownership. So these are different plays that they do. That's why there's a big problem within the NBA. NBA has made crazy money. They lowered the salary cap 10-15% this year. Meanwhile, they're still making a lot of money. So there's
what makes you think that the
TV rights and stuff like that
is going to prevent Ibrahimovic
I wasn't using the salary cap.
No, but I'm just what I'm just saying is that even with the referee making announcements when he's calling a foul and explaining it, like these are all things that are great, but it's side note. There's a side things that could be brought up within a UEFA or could become brought up within the European Council, but that's not the problem. The problem is you're creating a group of teams that are going to be these superpowers in a super league, and no one can touch them.
Okay,
Can
understood.
we make a believe phone call? I am Agnelli, and you are Lotito. Let's do it. The phone is ringing. Beep. Pick up.
I don't want to pick up. I don't like Agnelli.
You don't like Agnelli. So, by the way,
Hey, you
just
wanna
pick
pick
up.
up?
I said
All
pick up. I say hello.
Ciao.
Hey, this is Agnelli over here. How you doing, by the way? Are you okay?
Been better.
All right. Listen, by the way, I like Savage. What's the price for Savage?
$100 million.
$100 million. Are you crazy? I want Savage. Savage is going to be playing on the Super League. He's going to be making good money. Can we, can we talk about it? Can we have direct, negotiation with him?
No.
No, but I said this contract is going to be up. I said, be careful over there because you might lose him for close to nothing. So I'm going to buy you out. So I'm going to make you an offer. I'll give you $20 million. What are you saying?
No.
This is already what happened.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like doesn't change anything.
This is what is going to happen.
It already happened.
But this is regular around here.
But
You're
how does
laughing about it. You're laughing about it. But now, Lavezzi,
Lotito.
Savage and Lotito,
Did I miss
they're gonna come into a fight. I said, listen, screw you. I don't want to be playing with a bunch of losers over here. I wanted to play on the Super League.
He said this is what happens already.
But
happens.
But that
Super
conversation
League.
already would happen. I mean, he's not going to offer $20 million when he offered $100 million.
I know.
But the same conversation of you're going to be scared to lose him at the end of the year. That's the same thing that's going to happen. That happens now.
I thought you were going to say I'm going to offer you 110 million.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, "Oh, I have all the money. We have no
Right.
financial fair play. I
Right.
can pay you for the."
Right.
If up to
Can
yesterday,
we recreate the conversation?
if up to yesterday, there
Pick
were
up your
only
phone, Pete.
Angeli. If up to yesterday, there were a bunch of losers. If up to yesterday, there were 100 people going to the stadium and to watch Savage, and then Savage goes to.
But that happens already. That happens.
You know what is going to happen? You're not going to see anybody on the stadium. I said, nobody's going to be wearing the Savage shirt or nobody's going to be wearing the Immobile shirt. Nobody's going to be wearing anything. I said, what the fuck are we watching? A bunch of losers over there? We can watch them on the TV. We don't have to go to the stadium.
Ring. Ring, ring.
Hey, who's this?
This is Agnelli.
What do you want?
I want Donnarumma.
Screw you.
How much you want?
It's a free transfer.
How much you want?
I'd rather
He's
take
gonna-
Donnarumma for free to somebody
He's
else
gonna
than
leave.
to
He's
you.
gonna leave for free
No,
next
it's
year.
not,
How
it's
much
not.
money you want?
For you?
Yeah.
750 million.
Sold.
Were you on Agnelli in the last call?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
So Agnelli called Agnelli.
No. I called AC Milan.
He also dresses Agnelli for
Maldini,
Halloween,
you're
right?
Maldini.
I call Mali.
Did he?
Yeah.
So you're not a good deal maker because you're gonna lose. You're gonna
He
Donnarumma.
literally played the same exact situation as you, and you used his argument already.
I'm just gonna get relegated to Europa League. The way
Guys.
he's negotiating.
Guys,
Everything
this is the end of soccer as we know it. Okay?
I don't think it's
It's
going to be that
over.
dramatic.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
think it's gonna
the
be that dramatic.
end of the
Take it
game.
easy.
Maybe I'm too optimistic, but
yeah.
I don't believe in
No,
that.
take it
For everyone
easy.
that's saying the world, the sky is falling, I don't believe in that.
What's gonna happen for me? What I see is that the salaries are just gonna be too crazy in one league, that everything else is gonna be totally restructured because then Serie A loses value. Serie A becomes the Serie B. Serie B becomes a lower division, and like the teams are not gonna be able to pay.
What happened to the women's league?
No, forget about it.
What happened to that? They just forgot about them.
Oh,
Do they make their own Super
gonna have
League, or do
super-
they say the Serie A?
Super Women League they're going to have. Yeah.
That's one thing. We need more details.
I'm sure there's gonna be much.
Because then if they got into it, I'm just saying hypothetically,
Yeah,
if there was a
the
war,
Juventus team will be out.
then what happens to them now? I'm so confused. It's confused. But again, I don't think that it's gonna be
gonna go
dead.
through.
I don't think football is dead. I don't think it's gonna never.
It's gonna drastically change.
I don't think it's gonna
You,
even go
if
through.
it
to be
went
honest.
if it went through, by the way, and also when we heard the announcement yesterday, or we were hearing the rumors yesterday, I think it's very different than what we're trying to hear now. I think everybody was getting terrified at what could happen. So I guess for me, that's the way that I see it. I think we need change. Do I think that we should be doing it? We need to, of course, and I agree with you, we need to respect the teams to be able to fight and we need those dreamers. But we need to reward the dreamers and the teams that do the proper things, and not just reward everybody to be a part of it. That's my opinion. I don't think we should just give everybody the ability to challenge at the highest level. You should, of course, earn that spot and get it, like teams like Atalanta, like teams like Napoli. If they have a great year, you have to have that ability to still fight and challenge.
Yep. You said
You say the proper thing, but for example, Juventus, they have the long history. You know, Inter, Milan, they have this long history. But Manchester City, if you have crazy money, you can get in.
You can buy yourself in.
Yeah.
And that's Man City now all of a sudden has a great fan base, and everybody's watching.
I mean, is that proper at the end of the day?
You know, what I'm trying to say is,
I'm not disagreeing with that.
It's like,
that's why I agree with you that I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm totally not saying that. But and it's also Florentino said that they didn't invite Bayern Munich. According to him, he said we didn't invite Bayern Munich.
I would be surprised if that was true.
We don't know. We don't know. Honestly,
Why? Because they kicked
they
their
beat
ass
Real
all the
Madrid all
time.
the time.
we don't know. I like I said, I think that there could be some positives from not having UEFA totally involved in it. I think that there should be reform. And one other thing, I don't like the new format of Champions League, by the way, that they announced to expand to 30.
Increase.
They want to expand it to 36 teams.
Oh,
For me, they're going the opposite direction. And maybe that's one of the points where, you know, the big teams are like, we don't want to keep expanding this to 36 teams. For me, 32 is still too much. It should be more narrowed down, where you make it really competitive. And again, there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. For me, UEFA, you can't go to 36 teams in Champions League. You can't go to 12 teams in a Super League that you only have this amount of players. There needs to be some sort of middle ground that makes every team still have the ability to fight and challenge.
Do not kill the local championship. Cannot do that. There is no way that you're going to do both, because you're always creating an elitistic society where the upper management, the upper money makers, or the gurus of the world, those are the people controlling from the top everybody else.
You don't think they already do?
Well, of course they do, but you make with this one here, you're going to incentivize it even more. You're going to make it even worse. In other words, we already discussing this problem that is already pervasive in the world of soccer, because right now, me and Gaetano can tell you that 30 years ago, 25 years ago, nobody knew how much any player made. Nobody. There was never a discussion. Am I right or wrong, Gaetano? Nobody knew. Nobody.
Not even the player knew.
Probably. They play for the love of the game.
No, but there's something about what you just said, because I have talked to Serie A players that played Serie A, 30, 35 years ago, and you know what they did? You signed a contract, and they didn't even know how much money they were going to get, but you were in a good team. You signed, and then we'll figure it out.
Wow. Guys, honestly,
and they did sign.
I will be honest with you, I don't disagree with you. Like, I wish I grew up in that era. I really do, because sometimes I see certain things happen, and it's crazy. But unfortunately, Anto, it's the motion of the ocean. It's the way that it's going. There is nothing that anybody can do right now to be able to stop knowing how much a player makes, if you try to do that, we're just going backwards in the world. We need to embrace it and find the proper solution and find the proper balance, rather than saying we can't do this anymore, because it's just not realistic. It's not.
Well, wait a moment.
In order for the business to be sustainable,
you are going way ahead of yourself. You're too much ahead of yourself. First of all, soccer is only fans base. Once you shut down the fans, I don't care where you're going to get your revenue from, the TV, from all the stuff. If the ratings are down, you're not going to get shit.
I agree. I agree with you. The only thing I would say is maybe you guys, like the very passionate fans, I do think that they will stop watching. But I think that these guys, these 12 clubs, they're not really, and I'm sorry to say this to you, I don't think they're looking at you to care that much about that. You know what they're looking for? They're looking for that younger generation who they are claiming are not as interested in football as they should be. They're trying to get the 5, 10, 15-year-old kids who have not fallen in love with the game that you fell in love with 30 years ago and love a different type of football.
Make a new
Unfortunately,
generation.
I'm just telling you how it is, that's how it is. And it's the same thing, like kids now, they don't watch for Milan. I'm sorry to tell you, they don't watch for Milan. A lot of them don't watch for Milan. The kids coming up, you know what they watch for? They watch for who's their favorite player when they're playing in the video game. who's the guy that they love to watch on social media or who love to follow. And when he leaves to a different team, they follow him. It's more so following player based than it is following team based. And I'm not saying I like it. I don't like it, but it's just the way that it's becoming for kids.
So if all the guys that they play for Juventus, they have right now the new parameter will be who's got the big followers on the social media, and if they go to Juventus, they're gonna follow Juventus. So what they're gonna do, they're gonna start to buy players that they have more social media followers than actually the actual skills of the game itself.
It happens
That's
already.
BS.
It happens already.
It does. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Pogba sold for way more money because of his presence and the fans that he attracted, because they buy his stuff. They become fans of the team. I'm not agreeing, and I'm not agreeing. I'm just explaining what it is. I'm not agreeing with it.
Is that this social media, I think I will just totally burn it.
You had to delete your Instagram account first.
Yeah,
there goes our business. Thanks, Anto.
Guys, anything else? Anything else? I know it's not. There's no solution. There's no proper solution that we're gonna come here and say this is what you have to do. We're all expressing our frustrations.
I'm just saying, do not despair, and soccer is not over. They have to find a way to make it work. That's all I'm saying.
I think like any business, you have to maximize profits, but you also have to be sustainable. And I think that's the biggest problem. So like same way how like let's put it in other terms. Let's say like real world problems, right? Whether it be like the ozone layer, for example, right? We should, as a business,
take care of that.
Should be able to look into the interest of maximizing profits, but also not killing the world or destroying a world, right? And that should be the same type of idea.
I really cannot connect the dots.
What I'm getting at is like, if you knew that something's bad for the world, or it could be bad for the world, gas emissions, right? Can you agree that that's a problem?
But what is the connection with soccer?
He's saying a scenario.
I'm using a real world scenario.
Yeah.
My brain. I am too smart for you. You're not gonna fool me.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
What I'm trying to explain to you is
you made perfect sense.
Okay, you're looking at as a business, you want to make as much money as you can, maximize profits. That's the business goal, right? But at the same time, you should also consider, like if you're something with cars or whatever, trying to avoid gas emissions, maybe making an electric car or making something different that's going to better the society in addition. So what I'm getting at is, in terms of soccer, is you want to be able to maximize profits, but not destroy everyone else or kill off everyone else just because you got to maximize profits.
I don't see the connection still.
It makes a lot of sense.
I don't see it.
It's like saying if a business wanted to spend a lot of money, but then get rid of all football fields, right? You don't want to do that because that's the generation that's going to be sustainable, basically. You don't want to just maximize.
Yeah.
We're gonna end. Are we gonna end? We're good.
I think we said more than enough.
Guys, let us know in the comment section below where you stand on most of what we said.
And your solution of what do you think? If you're not for the Super League, your solution of what they should do for the next step.
And as you see, it's okay to have different opinions. Everybody at this table, we often have different opinions. We don't all see the game the same way. Doesn't mean we all, at the end of the day, the one thing we say, we all have the game at our heart. We all want what's best for the game. We have different opinions of how it will be. And despite what you might think, I think that we'll be here no matter what. I think that we're going to be.
There's I know for hundreds of millions to go around to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Anto, anything to conclude?
No, I'm okay. I mean, I think if again, I'm going to say it. If AC Milan they get into this kind of a disgusting BS right now,
disgusting.
I am going to get off watching the game itself.
And the podcast?
I don't know. But
what about Maldini?
We'll see. First of all, Maldini's got no decision making in this.
What does Maldini know?
Maldini, it's just a pawn.
He represents AC Milan.
He represents AC Milan. For now, he's still representing AC Milan. I like to see when the situation really, if it really materializes, I like to see if Maldini is going to be part of this group. I doubt it.
Of course he will.
I don't know about that.
Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video. Comment down below.
Ciao, guys. We'll see ya.